So we borrowed Mr. Chippie's bench for a moment. I casually mentioned I'd bought some records via Amazon from an American and a Chinese vendor, which was sold as for craft use only, but they actually turned out to be real records. And part of that was because VWestlife, whatever his username is, does a lot of interesting videos on vintage camcorders and things like that, and vintage tech, which I do tend to watch most of his stuff, which is good. And he's like myself, he's impartial. He doesn't have an axe to grind, and he'll like myself, some of these very expensive products he'll discover are tat. So most of you will know I've got about 19,000 vinyl singles. I don't collect LPs per se, but I do collect Reader's Digest box sets, which can usually be had for 99 pence for a box of 10, you know, and they're usually immaculate condition. And we have those running on our background music system as they've been copied across to memory card. So I'm not interested in 78s, but here comes a new rider. I spotted on eBay this Sir Thomas Beecham performance of Handel's Messiah in 2 volumes, and both the volumes, this was from a lady, probably house clearance, in Lancashire, and she said she'd carefully packed them, but anyway they have arrived in fine order, and this is 78 RPM, so we don't normally do 78s. So this is 1927, 1928, and I actually haven't got the thing to get these out properly, but this is of course on a 12-inch Bakelite Shellac 78. Now you'll also have probably seen I did a video some years back on cleaning records the ultrasonic way, and it continues to be a popular video. I'm just, as you know, I'm not into BS. I'm not into audiophile £25,000 preamps. Yeah, right. Very straightforward. But I do want these things to be clean. Now you can't use isopropyl alcohol with 78s, so the most you can go is mild detergent in distilled water. We recovered our distilled water from air conditioners. Look out and buy it. So make sure that's filtered, and that's it. So I bought this because I want to hear it, and this is 18 records. There's 9 in this album, there's 9 in the others, there's 36 sides, and I think he covers a bit more of the Messiah than you'll get on a lot of sets. And I've got the Reader's Digest box set, which is a fantastic performance with Elizabeth Harwood as the soloist, and I've got some other Messiahs recently, and I always will buy them when it's a 3 LP set. It's a performance I've not heard before, because there's a lot in the Messiah that you won't normally hear the entire lot of. So it's nice to get some of the sections which aren't as normally performed. So I'm interested because this is going to be of the time, and this wasn't a superb performance at that time. Yeah, there's critics. Well, the 2009 performance by, so he looked back at the works from 17 something or other, and you know, now this is of the time. It's, you know, things have changed, but I want to hear this. I've also got the Sir Malcolm Sargent one from Huddersfield Choral Society, which is someone I want to listen to, but that's on LP. So this is on Columbia label. I don't normally do 78s, but this is going to be my first thing into it. And we've got an extra ultrasonic cleaner on order because of the difficult situation I'm in. That all the 2 ultrasonic cleaners I use have got an IPA solution, and I can't do that with 78. So here's back onto what we are doing. So random batches of records. By having the ultrasonic cleaner, I can often recover unplayable records, and I find about 95% of what I buy is in fact playable once it's been through the ultrasonic cleaner. So here's the reason for this video. I bought this box of tap from Amazon. It's arrived yesterday, quite a lot of days early. There's 3 orders in here, and we'll just quickly go through what we are. That's the one that VWestlife talked about, and here's 2 others. So, made in China. These are supposed to be novelty records to do collages with. This is an expensive way to buy these. I've only done this because of the doing a video for you of interest. So here we go. This is what it says. This is $10, so it's a lot of money to me, and this is plus postage, of course, from Timbuktu. 6 real pieces of record 7-inch vinyl singles for craft and decoration, and so here we are. And when I open it up, you get some stickers and some double-sided things to stick them on your wall or whatever. And so this is going to be quite... That's not going to stay open, is it? Right. Doesn't matter how... I mean, these do look very clean. So these have just come yesterday from China. This is in Chinese or Japanese, we'll find out. Janice Ian, Love Is Blind is the A-side. Carly Simon, You're So Vain. These have just come from China. Silver Convention, Get Up and Boogie. Olivia Newton-John, Let It Shine. The Shocking Blue, Venus, with Chinese or Japanese writing. And Albert Hammond, It Never Rains in Southern California. So I mean, I recognise some of that stuff. So that's the 6. That was not a cheap way of getting those records, which I probably have anyway. But I nevertheless wanted to do that to show you guys. Last time I bought this from this lot, they were all quite extreme punk rock. So the next batch is of 10. Hope they've made it. $6.50 for 10. These are Mr. Chippie's little tiny cutters. I'm not going to go through every title. So, the bow marks, Daddy said. Don't know which is A and which is B. Clap Your Hands. Some of these have got sleeves. Bill Withers, Harlem is the A-side. So there's 10 records, and they'll soon flatten out. That's those. $6.50. So again, not the cheapest way, but at least they're only 65 cents each. And then this one, there was some discount. It was Black Turbo Friday or something. I don't understand these things in my 60s. Especially for it to trickle down to the UK, because we don't do Thanksgiving, do we? So it doesn't really fit in. But $11.75 for 25, which is a bit better value. And we can see on the Decca label, Melody of Love. I don't want to open this one necessarily. By It's just where the non-see-through bit is. Grady Martin and the something or others, and that one, the Silvers, that's SYLV Silvers, something about what love is made of. So 25 records again, so that's from the United States. So that's covered what came in the box from Amazon. Now here is some batches that I've bought recently from the UK. These are all, those records I've just shown you, are all for craft use. They're not supposed to be playable. And here we are, a typical UK one. For craft use and upcycling, £8 for 40 records. So, I've not opened these. See, that is warped. Yeah, so that's not going to be. There's nothing you can do about that. I mean, there's machines on the market for about £1,000 to try and straighten records, but there you go. So that's Georgie Fame, the Ballad of Bonnie and Clyde. Well, I'm going to have got that, so that's fine. So this one is going to be playable when I put it through the ultrasonic cleaner. Victor Silvestri's Ballroom Orchestra. Which is A and which is B? We have to find out. Hey look me over and Come Sta. And the final one, Memories of Ivor Novello, so it's a classical one. This is going to be an EP. We'll Gather Lilacs, Waltz of My Heart, moving to David Essex, Rock On, Vic Dana, Red Roses for a Blue Lady, On a Clear Day You See Forever, O.C. Smith. I was called to say I love you, says Stevie Wonder. And that's the other side to that. So I'm sure we can run those through the ultrasonic cleaner, and a quick look, only one of those I would deem to be unplayable. Of course you need some sleeves to put them in, so these people do sleeves. I got them off eBay, somebody promotion, record promotions or something. We've got them in cardboard for ones I'd rather keeping in a cardboard one as well. So move on to the next one. So lot of 40 again, £7.99. So remember the other ones were £8, so same kind of thing. This is including postage. What have we got? Blondie, Sunday Girl. That looks like for the American market. Judy Collins, Nightingale. Judy Collins, Amazing Grace is the A-side. Mouldy Old Doe, Lieutenant Pigeon. At which point the battery went flat. So where we were, we just had a look at this box with the 40, and the last one in there was Sunday Girl, Blondie. So that was a look at those. Now here's another box which I bought in the UK. It's a box of 200. I have boxed them into, I've shoved them into this box. They came better packaged than this. This was 200 for £18 delivered. Every time these are for craft upcycling. They're not supposed to be playable. I say we recover about 95%. Oh, we've got Blondie, Union City Blues. So have a quick look at some of these. Kenny the Bump, Jim Reeves, Distant Drums, Manfred Mann, semi-detached suburban Mr. James. It's got a nasty mark there, but I'll be able to remove that. Simon and Garfunkel, Bridge Over Troubled Water. Do you know what? I bet we've got that. Rolf Harris with a crack in it. Sun Arise. I'm sure we've got that. If we haven't got that, I'd be able to play that, I think. But that's going to be a throwaway. Sparks, Beat the Clock. Beat the Clock alternative mix. Playing at that game, were they? Alternative mixers. So here's a situation where it's been dinked, you know, when it's going in a jukebox and they put the bigger hole in. See, American viewers, records have a small centre hole in the UK. It's Rod Stewart, this one. You're in My Heart. But for jukebox use, they need a bigger hole. Now, our NSM jukebox, you can put either big centre or small centre in, and it selects the right spindle in the way it works. So I've got a situation with both these that when they've been dinked to put the bigger hole in, we've lost the title on this one. Now it's Essex Press, we can see that. And we've got the catalogue number of left 30. So I can look up that catalogue number on 45cat or on my own database and we'll know what that record is. But on this one, somebody's made a centre and then sellotaped it on. We know it's Pat Boone. It might be enough with Wang Dang and LD5, and in for and For a Penny is the other side. So we can look at the matrix number, MSD 34182 34191. So chances are that's side 1. So we always find a way around it. There's a few more in here. Let's pull some out at random. The Drifters, Kissing on the Back Row is the A side. Herman's Hermits, that feels bent. Yes, that's probably too warped to play, but we'll, you know, so I don't expect to recover all. The Silhouettes, Chicory Tip, Son of My Father, is the A side. Pride Comes Before a Fall's the B side. So that's quite a selection of records, and looking at what's here, you know, right from the 50s to the 90s, and there may be some we haven't already got. So the reason before doing the video, as you know, was VWestlife had shown buying these for craft use from China, and then I've gone on to buy a batch of 10 from the United States, a batch of 25 from the United States. Not the cheapest way to buy records. This is a cheap way to buy records, and I have every success by using the ultrasonic cleaner. So I've done that video some years ago, I think it was 2014, and so having ended up buying that set of 78s, I'd never intention of buying 78s. They don't really interest me, but sometimes the content does like that. I've ordered another ultrasonic cleaner because the problem here is I've got a big ultrasonic cleaner to take the 12-inch records, got a small one to take the 7-inch records, and it just means I can do things concurrently. But because the vinyl records we're using an isopropyl based solution, and I can't do that with the 78 RPM, it needs to be a soapy water solution, mildly soap, mild detergent. I've had to order another ultrasonic cleaner, which has, of course, has its costs. So I could do another video on ultrasonic cleaning records, and we could do before and after again. I've done that before. All this stuff will be copyright, and the problem is you try and play it on YouTube and the copyright police have you. You think, oh, real obscure B-side. You know, you think, oh, nobody will ever have heard of this, it didn't even chart, and up it pops. So that's the problem. So I hope you found that interesting, the Chinese and American ones, the cheap way of buying these for upcycling and then sorting them out. So thank you for watching something a bit different, and 7-inch records and a bit about 78.